Reddit by Reddit recap. Socially fluent people Reddit. What are some mistakes you see socially awkward people making? I see a lot of socially awkward people that are so preoccupied with trying to find a way to continue the conversation that they fail to either listen to the person while they're talking or they miss an obvious opportunity to continue the conversation. This is a socially graceless thing even confident extroverts often don't get. If somebody is hovering around your group at a party, notice it. Don't pretend they're not. And don't ignore it. And don't let them keep standing there waiting for somebody to let them in. Help that person. Make space for them and say, "Hey, I'm name. And you?" They'll say their name. Then you go, "We were just talking about topic." And make a point to include them. When I see a group where everybody ignores the person who clearly wants to join, I judge the social skills of the people doing the ignoring. All truly excellent gatherings include at least one person who goes around making sure nobody is lonely or scared. And then greasing the social wheels for anyone who is. Obviously some people don't want to join in. And that's fine. But I'm not talking about them. Don't backtrack a conversation. Everyone, and I mean everyone, comes up with the perfect response comment joke 5 minutes later after the conversation moves on to a new topic. Let it go. You'll get another chance. Lack of confidence. I'm no stud, but I can get a conversation going. Anyone who has trouble maintaining eye contact or doesn't know what to do with their hands are pretty common. Also, that someone please talk to me look. Also, don't eat up my break time talking about work. Kelly. It makes me avoid you. Not reading when people are ready to go. If they are inching away, heading towards the exit, they are just trying to be polite and stay engaged in the conversation, but won't need to head out. Edit. People keep replying that the ones backing away are the socially inept ones. Part of being socially dysfunctional is to be unable to distinguish nonverbal communication. If your host is shutting off lights and edging people towards the door, they are politely conveying a message. They shouldn't have to resort to telling people to gtfo. Even nicely. It's etiquette 101. A thing that I see a lot is people saying that nobody likes them or they have no friends. I see this in a couple of my friends and it makes it really hard to try and support them when they disregard my efforts to be there for them even when they are clearly exaggerating. Many people find complaining and pointing out negative things as the easiest methods of conversation. But it's not a great way to make a good impression or connect with people. You'll just be seen as a walking buzzkill. Ironically, I have found that socially awkward people tend to struggle with silence. They get visibly uncomfortable and I imagine it's because they are overthinking the scenario. Socially fluent people are usually like that because the conversations they have are natural and they do not try to force things. If I am with someone and neither of us have anything to talk about, I have no issue with the quiet. This seems to be especially true in relationships. You know you are with the right person when you can talk for hours and not get sick of each other. But you can also be in each other's presence without a word being said and still enjoy it. Being a treadhead nihilist or saying everything sucks and thinking it makes you look edgy or cool. Also realizing that not everyone wants to debate you all the time. About everything. Saying agree to disagree can make the difference between getting another invite or not. Super prolonged eye contact. Eye contact is great and all. But when you're telling a story or having a conversation, it's very normal for your eyes to move around the room. It's super uncomfortable when someone stares straight at you when you're talking. And they don't ever break eye contact for over 20 minutes. Don't overcommit. Be casual. If no one reacts to your witty comment, drop it. If your advice is falling on deaf ears, drop it. Just roll with the punches, yo. The harder you try, the easier it is for someone to tell that you are trying hard. Relaxed conversation is inviting and attractive for most people. Oh yeah. And no one owes you anything. They are all as focused on themselves as you are. Being independent and moving forward past anything helps. If you have a joke to make it loudly and casually. If it doesn't land, move on. Nothing is more cringy than when someone tells a joke. Everyone ignores it, see it as bad. And then they keep making it until they get some recognition. Ask questions rather than give the input about your own life. Someone starts talking about their dog? Ask some questions. Don't automatically go into a tirade about your dog. Letting someone else do the talking means you have to talk less. And questions make you more attentive. Don't highlight your flaws. If you make a mistake, say something awkward or just have a bad zit. Don't draw everyone's attention to it. They probably didn't notice. Don't talk to speak. Talk to listen. Lots of socially awkward people say that they hate small talk. Nobody likes small talk though. It's one of those things that can get a conversation started though before moving into something bigger or more personal. You can start by talking about the weather and then see where the conversation goes rather than just walking up to someone and diving right into your theory about how Finland is a made-up place that doesn't exist. A couple minutes of small talk can show that you're a normal person who understands the social conventions surrounding conversational etiquette. That makes people less likely to think you're an awkward weirdo and more likely to want to talk to you. I'm not the most socially fluent out there. But FFS, please stop saying I'm a nice guy girl. You are definitely not if you have to repeat it constantly. Not reading people about how much personal space they need. If I've moved away from you more than twice, back the F up and give me a bit more room. Not reading body language in conversations. When you're talking to one or more people, you should be assessing whether the other people are indicating that they would like to be done talking. A few indicators to watch for are looking around the room while you're talking instead of at you. Body is not facing you but turned sideways. Short answers to questions. Not contributing much. Playing with keys phone. If you see these, you can politely end the conversation and be done talking for the time being. One of the quickest way to make a friend is to share a light secret of some sort. It doesn't have to be a big thing. But just trusting them with something said in a "this is a secret" type tone. People feel special because you've entrusted them with something. I keep my secrets to be about me, unless I'm saying something nice about someone like they don't know I saw them. But the other day they did this nice thing for someone, or watch how excited they get when I mention my dog. Usually, they are a bit comical and embarrassing, but I find it always breaks any sort of uncertainty or insecurity. No gossiping unless it's about a genuine a-hole, and I'm 100% sure they feel the same way. People like to be trusted. And to feel special. To feel included in something. To be in on the joke. And it usually leads them to telling you a similar type secret and establishes a bond quicker and easier. But I've seen people dump all their problems on someone before just after meeting them, and I've seen people keep their cards close to their chest. I find this happy medium works best for connecting with people. And it helps if you can laugh at yourself. Knowing the time and place for jokes and meme references. I work for an environmental conservation company. Sometimes we deal with pretty heavy situations. For example, we were talking about a terrible soil survey and how it was going to be affecting this farmer's field and livelihood. My coworker looks at us and deadass says, "F in the chat, am I right?" Extreme example. But holy hell, I was mentally scared from the cringe. Confidence is quiet. Anxiety speaks. Confident people say I did this. Non-confident people say I did this because. Basically, unless someone asks you, don't preemptively justify or explain yourself. Forcing a joke or trying too hard to be funny. I find certain socially awkward people repeat jokes they heard or try way too hard when it's not relevant to the conversation. I just find some socially awkward people try too hard to be liked and sometimes come off too strong. Trying to continue a conversation past its natural or desired end. Getting too close or staying too far away from the people you're engaging. Thinking that the tips all men women should follow on YouTube are strict rules that should always be followed. They are general guidelines for getting you started on breaking out of your shell a little bit. Keeping arms crossed. Hands in pockets. Eyes always on the ground. speech volume varying greatly, too much eye contact, or any mix of these. Believing that any advice you get to start to socialize applies in every scenario. Pro tip: every situation is different, and you need a basic understanding of how people would react to what you do. Way too much or too little cologne, perfume, deodorant. That's all I can think of. But just remember, not all advice is good advice. Even when it comes from a YouTuber that bases her channel around profiting on people's low self-esteem. Best comment of the day. I was a pizza delivery driver, and sometimes when I told the customers to enjoy their food, some would say "you too" back. I do not find it embarrassing or look down on them. It's actually kind of endearing and amusing. I'm socially awkward myself, so mostly it's just a relief on me that, oh thank God, I'm not the only one that makes mistakes like those. Moments like that just make me realize we're all just silly animals who are trying to be nice and mess up at it sometimes. But it's the thought that counts. Nobody's perfect.